Welcome to My Designed Life.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining the Wholepreneur Summit, where we've brought experts from all over the world to support your mind, body, spirit, and business. The current world situation has given many of us a push to move forward on ideas we've been sitting on. From starting that business, to updating that website, or getting on top of the marketing plan, we are finally surging with the action we've so desperately wanted to take. So for those of us that have been sitting on that plan to finally get onto YouTube, today is our day. My guest is an expert in video, from creating the best ads, edits, and content for her clients to guiding and teaching them how to do it themselves. She gives you the power to connect with your audience and grow your business with one of the most effective tools out there. Today, we are ditching the excuses and building that YouTube channel. So get ready for action and join me in welcoming founder of 530 Soul Studios, Stephanie Rubinato. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hi, thank you so much, Tanya. How's it going today? So excited to be here.
Yes, I am excited to help people get their message out there, overcome that fear, just get in front of the camera already. And I know you have a lot to cover today and get really succinct, and everyone needs to get their notes ready for action. So I am just going to pass the wheel over to you to get us going.
All right, excellent, awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in here with us today. And yeah, let's get going on how to brainstorm, shoot, and launch your YouTube channel. All right, so I hope you have a pen and paper, or if you've got your iPad, or if you've got your computer, type everything on Google Docs, whatever you have that is easiest for you, because you want to get some of these down. All right, so we're going to start with what is YouTube, right? Some people maybe not ever use YouTube, right? So YouTube is a video platform that hosts billions and billions of hours of content around the world for people to use and share. And it's amazing because you are able to see anything that you want, from how-to videos to courses to cooking shows to television shows to movies. It is all there. The whole gamut of any kind of content you're looking to find.
Even as one we never thought we needed.
Exactly, yes. Which is now a big thing, is children watching other children opening toys and unboxing toys on YouTube channels. I
Those
still
of you without kids, it's a hard phenomena to wrap your head around, but it is very, very real. Yes, we both have toddlers, Stephanie and I, so they watch other kids play with toys.
Yeah, and it's a big thing. And these YouTubers, they are making this content and they are profiting from it. They are getting sales. They are making an income, which is awesome. So the age range, there is no age limit.
Yeah, there's like a 6-year-old that's a multi-millionaire right now.
Exactly. So if you have been thinking about starting a YouTube channel, there's not a no for you. It can definitely happen. You just need to plan and take some steps in the beginning, so that when you are ready to hit that upload button to get that video content up there, you already have in place the right steps that you can start to share that content with your audience. So when you're thinking about launching, you want to brainstorm, right? You're going to think, okay, what exactly am I going to be putting out there on YouTube? What is my niche? Niche is something that you maybe have a really specific knowledge in, or something that you really, really love and really know a lot about, that you can study maybe your whole life, or maybe a couple years, or even 1 year. It really, there is no limit, right? So you want to think about, okay, what are you going to share with your audience? What is it that you really love and what you really think would be of value to your audience? Then you want to think about, okay, what is this going to solve? Is this going to be a solution for your audience? Are you going to be providing solutions to questions or problems that they have? Maybe you're an expert in dating and you want to help people who always get stuck on the first date and then they don't get that second call back. Okay, so there you go. You're going to solve that problem of helping your audience how to get that second date. So you're going to plan your content and you're going to put it out there. So brainstorming is really, really important. And it's one of the first steps into thinking about how you want your content to be shared and the succession of it. So your first video, go all the way up to your 8th video. You want to think about how that goes in succession with each other, because
how it connects together. So it's not just kind of a random, like I talked about dating, and then the next day I was like cooking, and then so that makes sense. I love that. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, and what you want to do is have your audience, when they watch that first episode, that first video, then they want to go to the next one, right? So they want to be able to say, oh, great, well, I just learned so much, and now there's another video that talks about this aspect that I didn't know. So then they're going to stay on your channel and stay and watch your video. And that's what you want. You want your audience to be able to sit and be able to watch your video through the whole to the end. Because a lot of people will say and watch for maybe 30 seconds, a minute, and then they move on to something else. You know?
I know. And YouTube really, it rewards you the more people watch your content. So if they take one video and then they watch your second video, there's a more of a chance that YouTube's going to suggest your videos to people, is going to say, oh, people like these things. They're going to show it more. You're going to show up in like the search more. Like it's not just that they're consuming it, which is awesome for you, but it's also, you get rewarded through YouTube. I'm not sure if you're going to talk about that, but I know that that's, you know, kind of how they talk about. And one thing else I wanted to throw in there, as she's saying, guys, with the niche, is that, you know, with her example of dating, you know, being your niche, so you're really good at dating, your niche can be something as simple as, you know, dating in Chicago, or it can be, you know, dating for, you know, women who are 23, or dating for doctors, you know, so it can still be, you know, in a certain way, you know, general, but perhaps the audience you're seeking, perhaps the location you're seeking, that's where the niche comes in. And there's so many marketing benefits to having that niche. That's like, again, could be a whole other show. But that's definitely something, the value and the purpose, especially within YouTube, which is going to come down to, I'm sure you'll mention later, like the searches and keys and all these things. Your niche is always going to yield better results, because people get specific when they're writing stuff. I just wrote dating, you know, dating tips, like I could get dating tips for all kinds of things, you know, divorced women, guys, like, whoa, how do I know what's for me? So your audience is going to start to get more specific when they're searching. So the more specific you get and what you're offering, the better you're going to do.
Yes, exactly. And that's really a great hit on the head, because when the algorithm starts to get your actual niche of what your audience is searching for, then that populates even more. So you definitely want to get into the algorithm of YouTube, because that will provide more hits into your channel as you start to grow, as you start to put out more videos, which is amazing.
And as you guys, if you've been watching, you know, we had a gal here on talking about websites, and we went through Google algorithm and the kind of the mysteries of that. Google owns YouTube, guys. So it's the same game in a lot of ways. Like there's still an algorithm. There's something you have to kind of learn. All the answers aren't there, but there are enough that people have learned through experience. And so that's a whole other part of this that you start to kind of play into after you've gotten past the fear, you figured out your content, you've done this thing, there's optimization, but that's another part. So yeah, just remember, if you've been paying attention, we're in the same game, because Google owns YouTube. So welcome back.
Exactly. So, you know, the beauty of YouTube is that there is an audience for everyone looking to share valuable and relatable content. And, you know, that is what you'll get, is that don't worry if you won't have an audience. There is an audience. There is someone who is searching for what you have of value to share.
It's an audience for everything. Name it, we'll figure it out. People playing with balloons, there's an audience. Like there's something for someone.
Exactly. So in the brainstorming section of this, now the questions that we were just discussing, what do you want to share with your audience? What problems would you like to solve? If you have a business and you have a service or a product-based business, how can you share that with your audience? Maybe you want to share how your product works or how your service works. And, you know, that is great content to put out for your viewers, you know, especially people who may not even know about your business and are really curious because they saw your suggested video from another video, right? So that is all amazing. Now, how do you figure out what content you want to share besides these things? Now, if you're a business, look at your frequently asked questions, right? So
Easy
if
one, right?
you have a lot of customers or clients that are asking some of the similar questions about things in your business, that is a great place to build some video content to shoot for, because those are questions that you will be able to provide answers to solutions to, that they are looking to see, right? So write those down, get those on your pad of paper.
Yeah.
And even if you have a list of maybe 3 to 4, that's great. That's a great starting point for you to start.
And the answer's in the title, frequently asked questions. So people are asking these often, and YouTube really is like a search engine. It's just like Google. You go into Google and go, how do I XYZ? YouTube's just the video version of that. So people are going to say, how does XYZ work? Or how do I make this work? And if that's a frequently asked question in your business, like, boom, we just have a match right there. And now you're like, oh, I can answer this question video style.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Great. So those are definitely stepping stones for you. You write out those questions, and then you write out what is the answer to those questions. Okay, so this is the answer, how I would respond. This is the solution to this. And then you would write out, okay, this is how I'm going to say this and shoot this with the video for when your next step, when you start to shoot. So you want to write out exactly what the solution is, so that when you get to writing your script, which is going to be the next part of that, you'll feel comfortable when you get to go on camera and start playing around with this, that you can feel comfortable to just, okay, I'm going to talk to you and have this conversation, and we're here together, and we're going to figure this out together, and I'm going to help you, right? Because you want to serve, you want to help your audience, help your clients, help your customers.
Yeah. And when you're a general rule of presentation and for any type of situation, video, in person, is, you tell them what you're about to tell them, you tell them, and then you tell them what you just told them. And so that's like a really easy kind of breakdown of like, today I'm going to tell you how to fix a sink. And then you're going to tell them how to fix a sink. And then you say, so guys, as you heard, you fix a sink by doing this, this, and this. That was great. So if you're, not sure where to start when you're brainstorming this, go, okay, well, what am I going to tell them? How will I tell them? And how do I recap what I just told them? That's like a really easy starting point. If you're feeling stuck, that's just always helps me. I do a lot of presentations. And so that helps me kind of get unstuck of like, okay, where am I going? So that's a great place.
Yes, perfect. Now, if you're not a service-based business, or not even a product-based business, you don't have a business, but you have an idea and you want to share it, and you have really a lot of knowledge about something like gardening, and you want to share about your tips of gardening with herbs, or gardening with vegetables,
travel or something. You just want to talk about travel, but you're not like a travel agent. You're just like, I have a lot of knowledge. I want to share my expertise.
Right. And you don't have those frequently asked questions. A really great website to go to is called answerthepublic.com. Answerthepublic.com.
I have that written down here. Yeah, answerthepublic.com.
And you can type in your topic or your keyword, and it's a great tool that gives you a list of most frequently asked questions ranked in search engines. So in Google, in Bing, in Yahoo, what people are searching for in your topic in question format. So when you go and when you look onto the website, you type in, okay, gardening, right? Gardening for, or ClickFunnels, say you want to talk about ClickFunnels, right? And when you scroll into the website, it's going to give you a circle with the who, the why, where, what, how, which, can, will, are, when. All of these are questions that people are asking. So who needs ClickFunnels? Who created ClickFunnels? Who uses ClickFunnels? All those are great questions to use as your content, if you if you have that knowledge.
Because you can see that people want to know these things.
Exactly.
So that's a great brainstorming session. That alone right there, guys, if you're, and you're going, okay, I want to do it, but will anyone want to hear this? Do people care? Go there and you can have that confirmed for you. I'm sure someone's asking the thing that you're thinking about. And don't let the fact that someone's asked it or someone's even answering it also hold you back, because your voice is unique. So sometimes it's the delivery that matters, who they're hearing it from. It's not that the message is the same. That's why there's more than one gym trainer in the world. Someone who's like, well, there's that person he already knows, so I don't need anyone else. Like, it's about who we feel comfortable with, who we want to hear the message from. So I love that. That alone, guys. You can walk away with that and go, I can start my channel with this.
It's really such an amazing tool. It has so much value. And then at the bottom of the page, there are some prepositions of like, ClickFunnels is safe, ClickFunnels is legit, which you can use as your title for your YouTube video. So if you're like trying to brainstorm, okay, I've got my questions I'm going to solve the answer to, now I'm writing my script, what kind of title am I going to use? Boom, right there on that same website, if you scroll down just a little bit further, it gives you all these prepositions to use. ClickFunnels to WordPress, ClickFunnels with Shopify, ClickFunnel with ClickBank, like a whole gamut of all of these.
And what I want to point out with those names, guys, is that, and we've mentioned this a few times in some of our shows here, is that kind of a lot of times, especially on YouTube, the days of like cute and creative titles or like, you know, fun things is really in a lot of ways, I'm going to say over. I know it's some flat, you know, feedback for that, but I'm going to say it's over because people are searching and they're not searching cute, creative titles. They're like ClickFunnels to, you know, for fun or so. I mean, they're like, is ClickFunnels legit? Is ClickFunnels work? How to use it? So people are searching that. So the more that your title matches that kind of just very specific, clear cut, like answer or question, the more, you know, apt you are, the person is apt to find you. So, you know, getting cute, like, you know, I don't know. I can't even think of something cute because it's pointless. Like right now, like those questions that she mentioned that this page has are fantastic because you said they're really direct. So this also should take a lot of the like worry and burden off you of like, how do I say it? Like if you're not into writing, like that stuff always stresses me out. Like, how do I title it? You don't really, you just go, this is this. Like done. Like there. So I love that.
Like, is this free? Right? That's a great title. Boom, right there. Like, and this website really does help you to really get clear on exactly what this problem you're going to solve or what you're going to share about this. And it will just already do the work for you. So you don't have to have that added stress of like, oh my gosh, I don't know. How am I going to write this title? And what, you know, it's right there for you. So rest at ease. It's a great tool that can help you feel comfortable. And so that is part of the brainstorming session. So ideally you'll want to have four questions or 4 relevant pieces of information that tie together, because you want to tie these topics together in some form. So if it's one big topic like gardening with herbs, okay, so then you want to focus on, okay, what different aspects of gardening with herbs do you want to share with your audience? Okay, I'm going to talk about sage. I'll talk about thyme. I'll talk about not pepper, but
basil.
Basil, yeah, exactly. Basil, you know, rosemary. Okay, so, and this is what's called spiderweb video. So it'll link one video to another video to another video that the person can keep watching and keep going, right? So that's what you always want to think is like the audience is coming here to watch something, then that leads them to another part of this topic so that they can gain more knowledge and stay on your channel.
That they're likely connected to, because usually if you're interested in gardening with herbs, you're not only gardening one thing. You're not like, I only do basil and nothing else. You probably like a little bit, like we just said, basil, rosemary, thyme. You might have all 3 of those. So if you're like, oh, awesome, like convenient, these are the exact 3 I'm working with. And now there's free videos about each one, the nuances of each one. So could you make a gardening with these 3 herbs? Of course. But could it be more beneficial to have 3 that are connected, or even start with the general and then break it down and say, in my next videos, I'll go more into thyme, I'll go more into basil, and then I'll go more into rosemary.
Yes.
So that is how it's that spider web that you're saying. I love it. It's just all connected, but it's one piece.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So that's what your goal is, to get 4 pieces of content that you are going to have linked together that's under one topic and be able to start your video, your channel. Because if you have 4, that means you can upload 1 video each week, and it'll be for that whole month. And then
that's a great way to get started.
Yeah, exactly. Because you want to make sure that your content is ready and prepared so that you can take the time to really hammer down what you'd like to share. And then the next month you'll be ready to post for the next month. Those 4.
And you can learn how from those 4 that you posted, what was working, you know, if you got comments, like it's a good tester thing, guys. Like, then,
exactly,
and I think
it is.
Yeah, the worry about that first one being great. I mean, I joke all the time, you know, to not look, but go look at my first videos. Like, they're like literally of my nostrils. So, you know, they're just like really close up on my phone. I was like talking really fast, which I do anyway, but much faster. And so, you know, we got to start somewhere, and you get feedback, you learn from those. So it's more important to take that imperfect action, get it up, do these, you know, quick brainstorms that she's talking about, using the tools that are there, you know, kind of go, what's my niche? What am I want to talk about? And then your first homework at that point is to go to that, you know, ask the public, right? That's askthepublic.com. Answer the public, answerthepublic.com, get some, you know, solidify maybe your wording through that, just some confirmation. You're like, okay, people are asking. And then write those 4 down. Find that main topic and go, how can I break this down into 4 parts, pieces, or connected ideas? Again, depending on where you are, if you're gardening, if you're dating, or perhaps it is your service. So maybe it starts from the first part of the service to the end of the service of how things work. So that, if you have your paper and pen, that's what you're writing down right now. That is that's your homework. Your homework list is starting. Okay. So get it going. All right. So as we move on from we're moving on from the brainstorm then, right?
Yes. So now we're moving on from the brainstorming, and we're going into writing your script. So ideally, you would like to, you don't have to write word for word, but if you could write an outline of what you want to say for each video, that will help you. Yes, that'll help guide you so that you don't feel like you're in the weeds trying to grasp at things to say, you know, and
you kind of know where you're headed, where you're going to go. Oh, right. I wanted to do that.
Exactly.
Otherwise you can just end up on like a rambling tangent. And sometimes you're like, are they going to get to the next point? And then you do, but it was half an hour later and you're like, oh my goodness. So just giving yourself a bullet point. And I also want to interject there. Like, I know some perfectionists and people are like, well, I want to make sure I say it out right. You're going to want to memorize everything. If that is your forte and that works for you, like, go there. If that's going to take you forever, if that's going to hold you back, then no, you don't need to worry on your acting skills right now. If you have to keep a pen and paper there with your notes, if you have to say, let me check my next note and look at it, that is fine. Okay. Don't stand there and read it, because we don't need word for word. We need your personality. But I'd rather you do that than hold yourself back and go like, oh, I have to wait. It took me forever to learn my script to have this perfect one, because then, you know, how are you going to pump out content if this isn't your place? Now, if you took drama and they're like, I got this, good for you, go for it. But I would say, don't let that hold you back. Take that imperfect action, have those bullet points. Much better have a bullet points than reading a script. Just be you. And literally, if you have to say, let me check my notes. Oh yes. Next, I was going to tell you that that's totally fine. That is totally fine. This isn't television, guys. This is information, and it's your personality. So I just want to throw that in
presence.
There.
Awesome.
Yes.
That is right. That is awesome, because they want to see your presence, your personality, who you are is what is making the content engaging, right?
Yes.
That's what they want to see. So definitely have your notebook to your side if you don't feel comfortable, trying to memorize all this script. And also the beauty is you can stop and re-record again.
Video.
You can delete that.
And you have someone like Stephanie who can edit all that stuff out for you. So
we could delete that and just get to the part where you're like, I'm on my game and I'm able to, say this. So you could delete it and keep going and keep trying, which we're going to move into for sure.
Well, and there are some components of the scripts usually that generally on YouTube, I don't know if you're going to go into that about like the intros, outros, things like that. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So part of YouTube channels, there is their banner art at the top. You have your logo, you have your photo, you have your homepage of your channel, which will have an intro video about you, which you'll definitely want to also create is an intro video. Maybe just, a 1 minute saying who you are and what you do and what this channel is all about, which is really awesome and great to have people when they come in and see that first one, that they're like, oh, okay, cool. This is who this is. And all right, this is what we look forward to seeing in this channel. So awesome. And with the video itself, you are going to want an intro, which will be like a 15 to 20-second clip of, say, either the YouTube logo or some different splices of you in action doing something. So a lot of big YouTubers, such as let's say Marie Forleo, she's got a really cool intro on her page where she's a big soul stepper, and she's made a lot of awesome content. And so she's got things on there like interviews with Oprah, but then like her dancing in her kitchen.
Her dancing and being goofy. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Her with her dog outside. Like, so all of that is really awesome to put in your intro as well. Like, don't
people
feel
get a
like,
little vibe of who you are or something like
yeah,
that.
Exactly. So don't feel like you have to put on a production of you like, I am sitting here and I am doing this. Like, you know, they just want to see you in action, or even at a family function or at a family birthday party, or, you know, with your friends hanging out, you know, at camping or at the park. You know, those are all really good things because they see you as human, someone who likes to do these things, and they connect with you on that level.
Yeah. And when they do that, guys, when they connect with you, I know we get this question a lot, like, well, how does that help me? You know, a lot of times, you know, two things are happening. People either don't believe you, or they don't believe they can do it. They may believe you. So let's put this in the trainer situation. Like, I believe you, you look like you're in shape, but I've died 1,000 times and I don't think I can do it. And then when you let them see that, like, you're, you know, had an ice cream as well on the weekend, they're like, oh my gosh, they're normal. Like, they don't only eat broccoli all the time. And then they start to think, maybe I can do this, you know, maybe I am. So again, it's not always, you might go like, how the heck is that thing? But when they can see themselves or some connection to that with you, they start to believe that your service, you know, a lot of times can work for them, that there's a connection there. So it's one or the other. We are working on showing that we are products of what we're doing, but we're also connecting that we understand them, we understand where they're coming from, and perhaps some of our situations we've been where they've been, and that helps them go, you know, maybe I can actually do this. So that's where these little pieces of home life or being goofy or something actually does help your business. So again, if you're like, how the heck, that's how.
That's how, exactly, yes. And with your script, I wanted to get back into some of the keywords that help you get found in the YouTube algorithm. There's another great website called Uber Suggest, and you can put in part of your topic or the whole topic, or like one or two words, and it will bring up some other relevant keywords that you can add into writing your script so that you can incorporate when you're speaking on camera, because that also gets read into the algorithm of YouTube and helps you also to be found as well. And that's
amazing.
really important.
Awesome. Yes.
Yes.
And also with the scripts, there's also kind of when you're first starting, starting your video in general, you know, introing what the video is. We kind of talked about that, saying what you're about to tell them, you know, that really helps, introducing yourself. And there's some different variations. You can have to see what works for you, what you like, but at some point, sometimes both in the beginning and the end, only the end, again, you'll have to see what you want to do. You need to ask for the subscribe. You need to tell them to click that button. You need to give them that call to action. So there are some kind of a sandwich that will happen with that script in between, which is why those bullet points are so important. So you have your kind of intro. Hi, I'm Tanya. This is what I do. And we're going to do this. And again, you'll see some people ask right away, if you let, you know, make sure to click that subscribe, yada, yada, and then they'll go on. And or at the end of your video say, hey, awesome, that's great, this is how often we're here, whatnot, click that subscribe. It may seem obvious, but when people are in the moment, they're listening to what you're talking about. So just that simple little mention of, hey, click it, like that's that call to action. And again, in addition to that, from a marketing standpoint, call to action for your business or something you wanted them to do, but just use that as your sandwich, that kind of intro, outro little thing when you're writing your little script bullet points. Get in that habit, because that, again, you know, we need to convert them. We're looking at this for business. And so that's something to consider as well.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you for that, Tanya. It's very important. You want to keep that consistent with every video you record. So in the first 4 videos, since those are your tester videos, you can play around with this format. If you are going to be saying who you are, what you're doing, what we're talking about today, and then asking for that subscribe, or, you know, click that like at the beginning, and then at the end you ask again, or you just ask at the end to subscribe and like my channel. But you definitely want to keep those call to action in place for each and every video.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes, yes.
Very important. And yes, so write those for each of those 4 videos that you're gonna be shooting. And then keywords, right? So check out Uber Suggest,
okay.
and look at to see what are some other relevant keywords that will be worked into your script, also in your video title, your descriptions, your tags. So descriptions would be descriptions of each episode, description of the overall channel, your tags for each video. Those are all helpful. Keywords
do not
everywhere.
skimp on that part, guys. I know some people want to just get their video up. They're like, how to garden basil. And they're like, well, cool, people will get it, how to garden basil. But you need to describe, like, there's a description section for your video that will say, in this video, I will review how to garden basil and how much water, soil, and sunlight you need and how not to kill it, or whatever. Whatever you actually talk about, like, short of it being your script, put it in there, write it in there, because this is not just informative and good practice, but it helps with, like she said, the keywords. And one thing I want to highlight that she said, which may sound totally crazy, is that when she said to go to the Uber Suggest and look at those keywords to put them into your script, because they can use that in the algorithm. Yes, YouTube is actually scanning the words that you're saying in your video. So it's I don't want to say monitoring, as it sounds like, ooh, but I mean, it is like, if you think about closed caption, there's an option there for you to click on subtitles. And so of course there's something reading what you're saying in order to know the words that are coming out of your mouth. So that's happening. So the more that you are using keywords, if you see that the keyword is gardening basil and you're saying gardening basil a bunch, and your title has gardening basil and your description talks about gardening basil, and then your keywords are, you know, that tags, which is the section you'll see when you start to set up that first video, that is going to help you get results. That's going to help people find you. That's going to help people want to listen to you. So these, you know, I think from a non-techie standpoint, as your business person going, well, I just want to do video. You know, you got to optimize your video. It sounds all crazy, but really, guys, it's a simple, she's giving you the tool right here. Go to something like Uber Suggest, see what they're saying the keywords are, and just infuse those into what you're saying. And more times than not, hopefully you'll see that they are what you were going to say anyway, or maybe a slight adjustment. Maybe you were going to say optimize your video, but really you just need to say keyword and tags, and that was going to be better. And you're like, oh, okay, I'll stop saying optimize and I'll say keywords and tags. So, you know, that it could be something as simple as that. So it may sound crazy, but really all we're talking about is making them be able to find your video more. And some real easy hacks that don't take a lot of tech at all to just know how to boost that video that you're going to put up.
Exactly. Yes. Right on the head. Yeah. We want YouTube algorithm to find you so that your audience can find you. And that's what we want, right? We want the audience to be able to find you and enjoy what you're doing, right? So that is the major point in that. So after you have gone ahead, you write down your script for your first video through to your 4th, and you have your intro, right? So they also call them trailers. They call them trailers as well. And it's 1 to 2 minutes. And you
like a movie, guys, when you see a movie trailer, it gives you a vibe of what the movie's about. Doesn't totally give everything away, or sometimes it almost does. But you get that vibe. You're like, ooh, I want to see that, or like, oh, that looks terrible. That gives you an idea, and that's the point of it, right? So you're not making a whole video. It's just getting little cut up parts. And again, that's something, there's lots of apps and things out there, or you have someone like Stephanie who does editing, who can put something like that for you together. So there's lots of options to make that happen. If you're like, I'm point and click is all I can do, that's okay. And this is just, again, a way to optimize your channel. This is just like kind of extra parts that she's giving these tips that that are going to help. If you're going to put all this effort and you've been sitting on it to make these videos in the first place, you've been dragging your feet of like, it seems it's too big, and what if nobody watches? these are the tips that are going to help somebody watch. These are the tips that are going to help somebody show up. These are the tips that are going to help somebody stay. So if that's your worry, take heed to these things that she's giving you, because those are those extra tips that, again, you might go, but it's extra. I thought I could just make a video. You're right, you could. But if you want the results, these are the extra little steps that you can take.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. And the little steps matter. I know it might seem like, oh my gosh, I have to do this and I have to do that. But once you have it up, it's there. And then
Right. Yeah.
you can move on and start to create more content, so it's the little things that really do help build out your channel and
help you stand out amongst the billions of people that are on there, right? So there's the other part too. It's like, there's a lot of people who will do the bare minimum. So these little extra things just give you that more of an edge.
Right. And with your trailer, think about also if you already have content or videos that you've already shot by yourself or at family vacations or family events, or you could go through and look at your own camera roll and see what kinds of videos you've already shot yourself, which will definitely, I'm sure there will be something that you could definitely use if you don't want to recreate something else and have someone come shoot you do something. There's for sure there's stuff in your camera roll you could take and just put together. It's not difficult at all. It doesn't have to be a high production. Yeah, exactly. Highly accessible. So once you've got those scripts written out, then it's time to get to the shooting part.
The real part. Now it's happening. You've done all your planning. You've planned, you set up your channel. And that's a whole other thing, right? So I mean, overall, like that's just getting your channel set up, going in there, making the account. For those, like we went in the beginning of saying, what is YouTube? So if we're going to start that that basic, just know it is free. It is something that you can just, you literally just sign up, or if you already have, easy to connect through Google, if you already have a, Gmail account. But it's easy to just go and set it up. And then all those components that she explained there are there, that the channel are, and you'll be prompted through to really set most of those things up. They'll tell you like, hey, did you want to say this? Did you want to do that? So there's lots of different, little pieces, but again, just you'll be prompted to go through that. You'll get that done. Don't let the design stuff trip you up. We do a lot, either if you have a designer, amazing, awesome. If you don't, there are services like Canva that are free that you can, with no experience, like learn some basic design. They have already setups that'll say YouTube channel art. So they make it really clear and concise. YouTube thumbnails. I don't know if that's something we'll talk about, but that's like all these little graphic things, again, pieces that you might go, this feels overwhelming. There are very easy things. We have a full tutorial on our YouTube about using Canva. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can go check that out there as well on Tanya MFK YouTube. Because again, it's really powerful. It's free, and it's great for those of us who don't know Adobe Photoshop, InDesign, or Illustrator. So let that again not be something to hold you back. So just like you've learned about Uber Success, what is it? Uber Suggest.
Yes.
Yeah. And, Answer the Public, Answer the Public. And those things. Canva's another one for that channel art, getting that whole thing set up. So you've done all this stuff. You've narrowed it down. You've got your subjects. You've got your scripts. You're understanding why you're choosing what you're choosing based on these little things that we've told you about the algorithm and the nuances of it. And now, we're going to shoot. We're going to do it. You're finally going to do it.
Here we go, guys. Yes.
Tell us, what are we doing now?
So we're going to be on camera, and, some people aren't used to being on camera, and it's, very strange, and it's weird, and they don't like looking at themselves, and, that's totally understandable. And you just, maybe for first you got to use your equipment. What equipment are you going to be using? Mm-hmm. And there are a wide variety of things. If you have a smartphone, chances are it has really good resolution on the camera itself. There's the front-facing camera and the back-facing camera. Now, two options with this. If you have someone who can help record you and you can use your back-facing camera, awesome, because the back-facing camera has a stronger, higher resolution than your front-facing camera. And that really will give a clear, crisp quality picture, so that when you're in editing, that it'll be really, really nice with your motion graphics and your color correcting and all this other editing skills that, you know, you can do yourself or have someone like me do it. But yes, so your equipment, very important. And if you don't have someone to record you, that's okay. You can use the front facing camera, not a big deal.
Oh, there's tripods. There's lots
there's
of little
tripods,
weird bendy ones that make it easy. You don't have to have some huge professional one, like little fun pocket sized ones. There's lots of different options too. So
yeah, there is.
Use your front facing one, like she said. Worst case scenario, use the front facing one. Still a camera.
Exactly, yes. Or if you have a laptop or a computer that has a really good webcam, you can use that as well. If it has a really good resolution, then awesome, you can use that. And if you want to use a DSLR, great. DSLRs are amazing. They get really, really beautiful shots and can really create awesome things. And if you happen to have one of those, great, use that. What's great with DSLR in video, on your camera, you can check to see, but it should just have like a click to the video setting and boom, shoot, record. And if you have a tripod, awesome. If not, you can do some finagling and set it up on a table or a desk or a dresser, you know, can get creative. You know, you don't have to be sitting when you're recording. You can be standing as well, which also kind of helps give you that energy, you know, because you're erect and the energy is going up through your spine, up through your head, and gets it all out. So those are the things you want to think about, and as well as your audio. That's another important thing. So with audio, sometimes, most likely, if you're recording without a headset or mic, the phone, the camera, the laptop, it's going to have a little bit of some noise in the background. It catches things. It's going to have a little bit of an echo. So ideally, you'd like to have a mic set up with any of those devices. If, for say, you have your phone, you can use this, which is a great option. Earbuds. Yeah, it has a mic in place. And what's great is because it's close to you, and you want to be able to capture the sound when it's closer to you, because then it becomes clear and crisp and won't catch so much of the ambient or background sound.
Yeah. And guys, that's like, she doesn't mean just like actual noises, like trucks driving by, like the air has like just the outside, like even the quiet has its own sound, as ethereal as that sounds. No, it really has its own sound, and it comes through, and it actually is kind of noisy, and it just sounds better when it's contained, and that can be something as simple as earbuds. You'll see I have a mic. I'm not even hiding it. We're not trying to be cute. Like, it's right here because I could put it far away, but my sound is not as good. So having it closer to me is the best sound we have, and that's where it is. I have a microphone. That's, you know, I'm not going to be like, oh, I don't. I do. That's what it is. And she has earbuds. I have an earbud right here. It's how I'm hearing her. Nothing else fancy. You know, exactly. That's all I got. Now, there are fancier things. Absolutely.
Right.
But again,
you don't have to spend all that money.
Yeah. Right. To get started, it can sound good. There can be quality without breaking the bank, especially to see if this is something you really like to do anyway. So you might as well just start with what's accessible and go from there.
Right. Because if you say you don't want to, you know, shoot, if you don't like shooting this, you know, you don't like recording yourself, and you don't like uploading and putting all this, okay, then you could say, okay, I tried, and to move on, and you didn't spend, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars on, you know, expensive gear that is going to be sitting there, or you're going to have to sell it, or, you know, whatnot. You're right. You don't feel bad about you didn't break the bank, you know.
Yeah. You'll still keep your earbuds. You're like, I still use these. They're still
exactly. You do. Your earbuds are useful. They are multi-purpose. So that's not a problem at all. Now, with DSLR cameras, there are mics that you can get that are really great to use. Rode is a great brand. There's a whole host of others that you could, you know, check out.
Again, that's a whole Pandora's box of equipment. Exactly. But yeah, just to get started, you know, have a camera of some sort. And like she said, you could start with something as accessible as your phone. You have the back camera, which is ideal. Worst case, you have the front camera, which is still a camera. A version of a microphone. Mine is like $50. It's nothing special. And then, you know, or earbuds alone are fine. It's much better than the speaker just on your laptop or on your phone. That's the point there. And then I'm going to guess after that we go into kind of lighting, right?
Yes, lighting. Yes, lighting. Yes, lighting. We want to be able to see you, right? We want to be able to see who you are, and that is really important. So ideally, you will want to shoot midday, maybe not at noon or 1. Now that we're entering spring and summer, the sun is really, really strong during that period of day. So you want to think about shooting somewhere between like 3 and 5 o'clock, because that's when the sun starts to slowly go down, but it creates not enough of room light that will appear even around your face and your body.
In this case, it's really bright outside. I actually have to have my windows closed because it's too bright. So having that like evening light, and what she's saying is that you can just use the light outside. Like if you have it right, you have that window and you use it this time, your first level of lighting accessory is the sun, and it doesn't cost anything.
Exactly. It doesn't cost a thing. You just got to work with it a little bit. So like you said, if you're sitting near a window, you want to close the shades, close the blinds, because you don't want light coming from behind you and creating that kind of crazy like sun bright.
Like, oh, angelic. I mean, it may be nice to feel like an angel, but the rest of it going to looking like, is she missing her nose? Like, what is there? I can't even tell. It's like looking into us, I forgot what it's called, the eclipse. It's looking into the eclipse. That's like, no fun. So yeah. It's not an effect, guys. You might be like, oh, it's a cool effect. It's not. Don't do that.
It gets a little distracted after a while, and then you're like, can it go away? Because it's just a little too much.
Where's the podcast button? Okay.
Yeah. So exactly. So you want to make sure that there's not a strong light coming from the back or from the side hitting your face, or the other side hitting from your face, or like hitting your face directly. You want to create an even tone of light in the room so that it disperses evenly, and that you don't appear shiny in one place or another, right?
Right.
And if you want to splurge on, a light system, you can get a ring light, which they are $20, $25, really inexpensive, and are really portable as well. They have ones that are battery operated that you can put your cell phone on, and really lightweight, and you can move it around your room, move it around the space in your house. Really, really nice, because it also helps to create an even tone around your face.
Because you guys, I'm sure if you'll go look up lighting, you're going to see kits that have a bazillion lights, model photo shoots, and that's great if that's something you can do. But if the sunlight isn't the thing you want to do, or maybe it just doesn't work for the time that you can record, the ring light is a single piece that is a circle that lights up in a circle, and that's an easy access first level way to just have that complete light vibe without 16 light pieces and like a full studio. Like just this little circle. So I love that. And like she said, it's very accessible. So you're looking at the prices of, $25 or something. Of course they can go up. Everything can go up. Don't worry if you want to spend more. It can always go up. But again, this is how to get started.
Exactly. Yes. It's just a stepping stone, and really not a big commitment in terms of spending a lot of money, right? Because that's the idea is not to spend too much money in the beginning, and then once,
especially if it's going to be an excuse to hold you back. And that's the thing, right? This is about just getting started. And the truth is most of us are stuck at home. We have time to record. Amazon's slowing down a little bit, so maybe we use what's accessible to us and what's there, and just get started. Take that imperfect action, because that's what this is about. That's what this whole summit is about, is giving you the tools, the inspiration, the piece to just do it. Just Nike it. Okay. We're just going to start making it happen. So absolutely love that. So what do we have next?
So next, okay, great. So you've got the lighting, you've got your camera or your laptop or your DSLR camera, and you've got your mic, however which you want to use, and you're going to sit down and find the space in your home where you're going to shoot. Ideally, you could do either a plain background, or like what Tanya has, which is really great, is some texture. Really lovely texture, I like to say, is having some elements of, your desk or your shelf, your art, wall art, all of that, which is not focused because the camera is going to focus on you, but the background is, you're going to see, you know, different textures of color and shapes, which is really nice to see in the background of when you're shooting. So if you can find something similar to that, that's awesome. Or you can recreate it as well. If you've got, you know, a little desk space, you can do that and construct a little studio of your own in your home, you know, just with what you have, right? Just find what you have is the best thing, you know. You don't have to go and buy some, you know, cool, crazy art and some all new plants to put in the background, you know. It's not necessary. I mean,
this behind me is really just a sign of a plant problem I have, that because I can't rescue animals because we live in a flat, so I have to rescue plants, and it's something my husband rather not be my problem. But this is just, there's too many, so now they're all around me. But it works out for my studio, guys. So, you know, it's just turn your problems into power.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I love it. Rescue plants. One thing I would like to note is maybe not to shoot outside, because shooting outside, you're going to not be able to control your environment as much as you would indoors. So I would say, especially if you're not using a mic that is really going to capture that directional sound, you want to make sure you're shooting indoors, because outside environment, you can't control if someone walks by, or unless you have your backyard, which is fine. But then there's the neighbors or a truck,
airplane, anything like that. Yeah, that's why, guys, if you see, you know, growing up in LA, you know, if there was something going on, the whole area was blocked off, and you couldn't even see what was actually happening because they were way far away from where they stopped you from going, because they wanted this contained area for the movie. So it was something. I lived in Long Beach. That's where they filmed Dexter. And so anytime it was blocked off, you couldn't actually see what they were doing because it was blocked off from so far away, because they really needed that like contained area. So unless you can do that, ideally try to avoid, those outdoor areas. Love it.
Exactly. Yes. So you found your space, you've got your equipment, boom, you're ready to shoot. So what's going to be helpful for you if you're going to be editing your own videos, you're going to want to have a marker, some kind of visual and audio marker for when you start your shooting your videos. So you want to do a clap or a snap or cut or take one, something that's going to say, okay, when you go to download this into your software, whichever software that you have. So getting into software, well, we'll get into that. But with the shooting, so when you start, you have your camera on, you place it in a position with great even light. You're either sitting or standing, and okay, press record, and you do your visual marker. So cut or take one and clap, which will help you in the editing process, right? And then you go, and then you have your outline, you have your script in hand next to you, and you just start saying your content, speaking about your content, speaking about what is of value for you. And, you know, take all the time you need, really. Like there's no rush for you to say, oh man, I've got to record all these 4 videos in the next hour. No, I mean, set aside some time. Make sure you set aside a couple of hours, you know, to really feel comfortable in front of the camera and be able to talk about what your topics are, you know, because there's also, you know, you feel a little tense, or you're holding things in your body, or, you know, you feel a little rigid, and then you got to give yourself some time to feel comfortable and relaxed on camera, which is really, really important, because you can see when someone is, you know, tense. And
this is why people have like those rituals, you know, kind of either psyching themselves out or breathing or like moving their mouth. And it may seem really silly when we're looking at it, but those little kind of rituals get your body relaxed and ready and in the mindset. I know for myself, when I first started, I used to go into this weird, like, business tone, and I didn't think about doing it. I wasn't trying to do it, but I'd be like, you know, hey, la la, and then the camera would be like, hi everyone, now today we are, and it was so awkward. And so part of my pre-ritual, one of my colleagues, Steven, I would tell myself I'm just talking to Steven. So I'd be like, hey Steven, and like, Steven's not there, so I look like I'm totally insane, but I'd be like, yeah, and I would like bring my normal voice out to how I would talk to Steven. And so when I was able to do that, I like could kind of cut through this weird business person that would just appear out of me when the camera started rolling. And so then I could come back to me, who I was, how I normally talk. And it just happens. Like we are different people in different environments. So all of a sudden you might be in the principal's office when the camera comes on, you're like, hello. So you being and having this kind of little ritual or idea or something before you start can really bring you into yourself when it's time and that camera comes on, especially when you're first starting. So I highly recommend something like that.
Yeah, you want to get yourself centered and grounded, and even as doing some stretches, like shaking out that,
make it a good experience, that it feels good.
Yes, exactly. Stretching your jaw. You can also do some jaw stretches to really like get your jaw relaxed so that you can feel comfortable speaking without slipping up or stuttering. Do some just get your
that's
your
actually
lips.
a very real thing they do.
Yeah, it is.
In singer warm-up, they do this like horse lip thing, and again, it feels, I do it, I'm gonna be honest, I do it now. I started and it feels so silly, but it makes such a big difference.
It just helps you to get out of your body and just like let everything go and just get loose. You want to be
your first
loose
time, don't expect to do it that like she said, give yourself some time to mess up, to like get it out, to warm up, to do those things. If you're like, I just got to get it, like she said, I got 10 minutes like that. So, later on you can very easily get to that point. Absolutely. You just pump them out. But you at first time, be graceful for yourself. Like have grace for yourself. Like give yourself that extra time. If it's a 10-minute video, and especially if it's the first time setting anything up, like give yourself an hour, like set aside an hour to set it up. Maybe the next door neighbor kid starts playing the tuba. You're like, oh my gosh, like, just give yourself space for the unexpected during that first time.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. You want to give yourself, a couple hours, just especially if you're not used to being in front of the camera at all. You have to give yourself that time to really get comfortable so that you are able to convey from your personality, your energy, and not have other things that you're thinking in the background, because that'll read in it too. That'll show up on camera.
Right.
You want to be able to see you're focused and clear and able to deliver that energy and that valuable resources that you want for your audience, right? So there it is. You shoot your content, you shoot your 4 videos, boom. Okay, now you've got to upload them and put them into some software so that you can edit them, right? So that's part of it. You gotta
now or next you're like, I finally recorded it, it's all perfect. No, because you have those outtakes, you have that like weird spot where you had to push the camera and then run and stand in front of it, like you don't want that part there, right? So there is a little more to do, guys.
There's a little bit more work to do. You got to do some editing. You've got to cut out the parts that you don't want and keep the parts you want in and put things together. So you need some software. So there are some great free resources. If you're a Windows-based person, there is Windows Movie Maker, I believe, which will let you be able to edit and cut and splice video together. There is for Apple, it's called iMovie, and that is a great software, free software that will let you be able to do the same thing as well. It can cut. I think you can also make trailers or
I think we mentioned this before. I'm not an Apple user, but I used iMovie once, and this was many years ago, and I made a trailer about a killer butterfly, and it was so easy. It was part of the music and stuff that was already there. That's why it was Killer Butterfly. I didn't actually have this idea, but I was just messing with it, and like in a minute or two, I made this like trailer that looked like a movie. I was like, this is so cool. So yeah, for Apple users, that's awesome. I'm not an Apple user, but if you have access to it, it was really easy. And I'm sure the Windows one is easy too. I just go with, I'm lazy. I go with someone like Stephanie and I'm just like, make this happen. So that's always an option too.
That's always an option too. So if you don't want to do it yourself, you don't want to look at yourself and edit yourself, you can find a video editor. And the beauty is it work everywhere in the world. So even if you don't find one in the city you live in, there is someone across the country or across the world that would be able to help you. And video editors, they come in all different types of rates, so there's definitely
There's
affordable
one for
ones.
every budget.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
There's one for
Yeah.
every budget there. And then there's, some that are, charge a higher rates, because they do, a lot of visual effects and motion graphics and all these things. But if you don't need that for your video, you just need, to cut it and put it together, and you want to do it yourself. Okay, great. Awesome. If you wanted, maybe some software that was a little bit more high range, that has a little bit more abilities to do some more cool effects, you can try DaVinci Resolve, which is also a free program and really great to use. They have a free version and a professional version, and it kind of puts you in the similar level as, say, Final Cut or
Wow,
with
nice.
Avid or with Adobe Premiere. It's really, really awesome. Really, really, really great. And it has a little bit of a learning curve. So you'd have to take,
Some time to
a day or two or a week just to play around with the software and the user interface and learn some of the,
go with someone like But again, guys, I'm not discouraging you. That's just me. But they are out there. There's so much stuff out there of all different ranges, but something of a quality, because there are a lot of other ones you may find that are free and maybe easier too. But they don't always have the same quality or work the same way. So I would definitely go with whatever she's suggesting here, to try the things out, because that can just open a whole other Pandora's box. And if this isn't an area that you're trying to dive into, if this is just enhancing your business, then again, you want to just be mindful about where your time's going to go.
Exactly. You don't want to spend, 18 hours on editing your video. You want, if you want to get it
30-second video.
Right. So you want to think about it, your timeline, your time efficiency. How much time do you have to devote to also now editing this and putting it out there, especially if you have 4 videos you got to do. So, and you got to put in the intro, you got to have your outro, you've got to have, your logo or the YouTube logo to add in as well. Music if you want, these are all things that you got to, add in, your titles. There's a whole gamut of that. So, which, some software can do and some software is not as nice as others to use that for. But, that's where the option is if you want someone else to do it for you, and a video editor, and that's no problem at all. A lot of people who are YouTubers who have really a big fan base, they have somebody else who edits their videos. It's totally fine. Really, really not a problem at all. So if you take that time, awesome. Not, hire the video editor, and awesome. So now you've got your 4 videos, they're shot, they're edited, and they're ready for upload. All right, so you're gonna go into YouTube Studio. So they just totally revamped the YouTube Studio, and it's really great to see the analytics, if you're interested in looking at the analytics, which you probably want to, because you want to be able to see, okay, who has seen the video, there's also retention rate. Retention rate is really good to know. It's like, how long did they stay watching your video, right? If they didn't stay for the whole time, then it's like, oh, okay, what I need to then now figure out what to do or change up in my videos so that I have people staying longer, right? And it's really easy. The user interface is really great to just, boom, you upload, you create your title. So what you had already before, because you did your script writing, is you wrote out your script content and your title, right? And your description of the episode, which we'll put in the keywords, right? So you want to use some of those keywords in the description of your video and in the tags, right? Tags are really awesome to help in the algorithm of your video on YouTube. Really, really great to have. And then you are going to also want to have like a YouTube end card. So YouTube end cards are essentially, they are at the end of your video and will link to other videos of yours that people can go check out. And that's what you want, right? You want people to go check out the the other videos you've made, because they're so cool and they have so much awesome content and they're going to want to see more, right? So yes, exactly. So
it's like a video version of your call to action. You're giving them that, you're kind of directing their next action by giving them that option.
Yes. So these end screens are really great to have your content be viewed for the next and the next and the next. And it's really awesome. It's really awesome. And there you go. There it is. You've got it up, right? And that's your video. And you ideally want to make sure that when you upload your video, you upload it around the same time every week. You know, you say you want to do it on a Friday at 2 o'clock. Okay, so every Friday at 2 o'clock, you're going to have a video up. And you can mention that in your video as well. Like, hey guys, thanks so much for checking out my channel. The next video is going to be up same time, Friday at 2 o'clock. I'll see you then. So then that creates the expectation that, okay, great, I have something to look forward to for the next time. I know, okay, the next week, there's going to be another video coming up at this time. I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah,
I'm going to subscribe.
Yeah. And you can schedule that, guys. Like you don't worry like, oh, what, it's the same time. I might be busy or something. You can schedule that. So you can upload it beforehand. You can schedule it. They have things like premieres, and then they also have regular scheduling. So you can upload it and have it ready, and it won't be open to anyone until that time. But that's how you can keep that consistency up easily.
Yes, exactly. And for me, consistency is definitely something I struggle with, and so I always like to plan and just get it scheduled so that I don't have to think about it because it's there. And
if you follow what Stephanie said, you'll have 4 that will already be ready, so you won't have to worry about that. You'll have like a month worth to get started with, and then again after that, you can adjust your consistency. But in the beginning, give yourself like some grace period. I would say, if you're not familiar with all of these things that we've said, don't go gung-ho yet and go, I'm going to do it every day. Like just start easy. And as you get through that, you'll see that it is easier and easier as you go on. So if you want to go twice a day, whatever you want to do, you'll be able to do that. But give yourself just that place to get started.
Yes, absolutely. Because putting out content every day is exhausting after you maybe you've been doing it for a month or a year or 3 years. Like you can get burned out.
Go read about Lily Singh. She was someone who was really shot up YouTube. There's a lot. She's amazing human. But she also has some interviews where they talk to her about her episode of burnout. She was heralded as just amazing at how much content she was putting out. And even the best of them, even the best with the biggest crews and the best things, guys, it can tire you out. So again, start that out reasonable, or like, batching is a whole thing we talk about. You do a lot at once. So just give yourself that grace period. There's, as we're learning and as you're here through this summit, because of the way the world is right now, you learn that there's we're refocusing what's important. So do it, but do it in balance.
Yes. Don't go overkill yourself. There is time.
Yes. There's time, guys. So
there's time, but
thank you. This has been amazing. Is there anything else you want to throw in? And as far as YouTube details?
Just go check out other people's content that you really admire, that you really love, that you really enjoy watching, and just start to take a look closer at, like, okay, how they cut their videos, what type of graphics they're using. Do they use music? What is their intro like? What is their YouTube banner art look like? Right. Oh, and one thing is also YouTube thumbnails, right? So that's also part of your design in your YouTube
that's
channel.
A little cover that's going to go over your video.
Exactly.
And we mentioned like Canva has a great preset for that. So I think, Stephanie, we'll have to have you come back another time. We'll go into like the real specifics of the video, because there's so many more little nuances in there, guys, as you're learning. So this is accessible. It can be easy. You have a lot of the tools there. And as you do that and just get started, that's where we are right now. Yes, you can dive into getting more and more technical and more advanced and more knowledgeable. But don't let that lack of experience or knowledge in that area hold you back. Get started. As you get started, you listen to this video, you're listening to Stephanie, you're like, yes, you get started. Then we'll have her again, and we can get more technical and more advanced and have her explain even more of the details of that. Because it's like anything. It's Pandora's box. You can always get better. There's always room to get better. So, maybe next You'll be doing full feature-length films. But for now, we want to start with the 30-second, hi, my name is. Okay, so...
Awesome.
So awesome.
Yes.
Well, so before we wrap up today, can you please tell everyone where they can find you, how they can work with you, and any promotions you have going on right now?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you can find me. I hang out on Instagram a lot. That's my place at 530 Soul Studios. And Facebook from time to time. I also live there. And yeah, I'm offering, free brainstorming sessions. So if you need help with trying to figure out how to come up with content, I'd love to help you and, help you figure out what you like to talk about. Sometimes it's helpful to have another brain just to help bounce things off, and it can give you the boost you need. So yes, I'm
amazing.
Free brainstorming sessions, and you can send me a direct message on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll be happy to help.
Easy enough, guys. So 530 Soul Studios, get in there, send her a message. Well, thank you, Stephanie, so much. I really appreciate it. It was so thorough, so detailed. There's so much information, guys. But again, don't let that hold you back. You have her right now saying she'll help you figure this out, give you some brainstorming sessions. So get on those channels. You have so much to share. We need to hear from you. So if you need that guidance and support, like we said, reach out to Stephanie at 530 Soul Studios and make that magic happen. And thank you all for showing up to create your best life. As you know, this summit is free. So if you enjoyed what you learned here today, we would love your appreciation in the form of shares, likes, comments, and follows. And if you haven't already, please check out our weekly show, My Design Life, where we test methods and habits to live a life you love. You can connect with me at Tanya MFK and at My Design Life Show on Facebook and Instagram, and learn more about our workshops, courses, and coaching at TanyaMFK.com. So remember, your someday starts today. Make it the best. I'm Tanya MFK, and I'll see you next time.
Welcome to My Designed Life.